I suppose I'm tougher than you. I think Chris Bowen is the most dangerous politician this country's seen since World War II. And they've had their way. And now this net zero nonsense, as you said, electricity bills on the eastern seaboard from July 1, that's around the corner, 29% minimum for small business, 25% for households, on top of all the other cost of living inputs. What do you say, Peter Dutton, to the Bloomberg research of last week, that to get to net zero by 2050, we'd need up to 1.9 trillion invested into the national energy system? That's 68 billion a year. I'm begging you on behalf of bloody millions of people out there to forget the polls, the bedwetters and the left-wing minorities and simply say the coalition won't be endorsing this stuff.
Well, Alan, we're the ones who have started a conversation about nuclear power. That it's an absurdity that we can get nuclear stuff around, but that we can't have a discussion about nuclear power, which is zero emissions, and that's why many countries in Europe are adopting it. There are 32 countries who have nuclear power, 50 who are looking at adopting the small modular reactors, and frankly, that gives you a stability of supply. It allows you to firm up renewables.
But that's down the track, Peter. That's down the track. What about clean coal? We've got clean coal.
It's in the near term.
The world wants our coal. Why can't we use it?
Well, we should continue to use it until
Definitely.
the new system is. The new system is not ready. Look, Alan, if a battery came along tomorrow that stored power to keep the lights running for a fortnight when there was a rain period, I mean, I don't have any problem with that. If that's the cheapest way of delivering energy. Here's the point, the most important point I think I can make. I want for Australian sports like the one that we saw yesterday in Yarra Valley, I want the farmers, I want families in a country like ours where we have an abundance of natural resource not to be paying the highest energy prices in the world, because all that happens is that the manufacturing companies close here, they go offshore, they emit more into the atmosphere, they import their product back into Australia at a higher price, and Australians miss out. Again, we miss out on the jobs, we miss out on the economic productivity. So that's why getting the energy policy right is important for today.
It's not right now, mate. It's not right now, Peter. I mean, since Liddell closed, electricity prices in New South Wales have increased by 80%, and now they're talking about energy shortages. I mean, we used to have wholesale power prices, coal-fired power, because I'm not one who believes that carbon dioxide is causing any problem at all, but we used to have wholesale power prices at $50 a megawatt hour, thanks to a stack of coal and gas. Albanese and Bowen come along, and plenty on your side, who don't want to use these resources, solar and wind, but not coal. So wholesale power prices now, today, as I speak to you, not $50 a megawatt hour in New South Wales, $168. Now, the people watching you have heard my introduction to you, the tough cop on the beat. Why wouldn't this tough cop on the beat say, we will not demonise coal and gas and we won't shut our eyes to nuclear? It's a three-pronged attack.
Well, Alan, we're not demonising coal and gas. As I've said, I've made an announcement last week that we believe there should be a streamlining of the approval process so that we can bring more gas in, because that results in more supply and a downward pressure on prices. It allows, gas is more and more important. This has been recognised by even the Democrats in the United States. It's absolutely essential. We get more gas into the system because hydrogen, or green hydrogen, that the Prime Minister sort of fantasises about at the moment, is not a reality. And you can't pretend that it is. You can't pretend that we can keep the lights on when the solar panels don't work of a night time. And we have, for the first time frankly, many years of national debate, been prepared to start the conversation about nuclear power. We're working on costings and all of the assumptions behind that at the moment, and we'll make an announcement in due course. But the interest that I have,
but don't turn your back on
where
coal.
The power comes from. Well, we're not suggesting that you should. That the coal and gas in the system at the moment is what's keeping the lights on, and without
it is. And I'm sorry,
enabled. Chris Bowen could pretend otherwise, but that's not the reality.
Peter enabled Chalmers to talk about a budget surplus. That's all come from our resource exports. I mean, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. What?
And he never mentioned the words.
No,
he talked about things that we export. Well, he was talking about coal and gas. And you don't get back to a surplus without it. You don't pay for the schools and the roads and infrastructure you need That's the reality.
Okay.